this is Jamie Magridge. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'd like to show you this clean and simple stamping card. It's really easy. Let's get started. I'm going to be using this Soft Spring from Stampin' Up, the wisteria, the two parts to color it in, and the little dragonfly. This doesn't have a sentiment, so I chose Birthdays Are the Best Days from Beautiful Friendship, but you could use any sentiment you would like. I need to get this out because I don't have that one mounted yet. Grab it out. For my paper, I have a card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Highland Heather, which is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. A piece of white, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/4 by 4 inches. I've got a cord sticking out here. Let me get that out of the way. Okay, let's put those two pieces aside, and we're gonna stamp on this. Let me turn it this way so it actually works better. First thing I'm going to do is bring in my wisteria, and the inks I'm using is Memento, Highland Heather, Mossy Meadow. I have one Stampin' Right marker. You could use whatever. You could use an ink pad if you want. And Coastal Cabana and a Wink of Stella. Okay, so first I'm going to stamp with Memento ink. Just bring this wisteria in. And I'm just going to start stamping. Make sure it's inked up well. Stamp one over here. Wisteria is a viney plant that drapes really pretty. So it's usually purple, really pretty purples. Let's put one over here. Didn't have that inked really super well there in the middle, but that's alright. It'll work anyway. Put one over here. Okay, add some here. And then I'm going to add some over here. Move this over so I can get to it. Okay, so I'm done with that stamp. Okay, well, I have the black opened. Let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment. Birthdays are the best days. Make sure it's inked really well. I must need to re-ink this stamp pad because it's not inking very well. Stamp it down here in this bottom corner here in this section. Stamp it down, let it sit for a minute to absorb in the paper, lift it straight up. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the dragonfly. Stamp that little dragonfly. Ooh, there's a hair. It's under the stamp. Bring in my chamois and clean it and start again with it. This is our chamois. It always looks, it's nice and thick. Just wet it with water. You don't want it soaking wet, you just want it damp. And it's really good for cleaning stamps. Alright, let's try that again. This little dragonfly. Give him really well. Stamp them down over here. Ooh, what happened? Well, let's see if I can get that on there again. Line it up. Try. Oh, well. Oh, it's not bad. It's definitely not perfect, but you'll see how different it is on this one compared to this one. Didn't quite have it lined up correctly, but that's alright, it'll still work. Alright, now we're going to take the fill-in part of the wisteria. I must have rocked it as I was hurrying. Pick these up. Now these aren't going to line up perfectly. I mean, they do line up, but so line them up as best you can. Stamp it down, move it over just a tiny hair, and stamp it again. That fills it in just a little bit so that if you're off, it doesn't matter. Line it up. For some reason, I've got the jitters. More. Okay. Off. Okay, then we'll bring in the green. Mossy meadow, and a little leaf to fill them in the leaves. We're going to do the same sort of thing. We're going to stamp where the leaves are, and we're going to stamp again a couple times to fill in a little bit. Okay, now some of these spots here, we might want a few more leaves, so we're just going to come in with the leaves without the outline and stamp a couple more, just to make the appearance that there's more leaves there. A little bit more up here at this top. Okay, awesome. Okay, now we're going to come in with that Stampin' Right marker. I'm going to color in the wings of this dragonfly. And we're going to bring the wisteria. This one's not opened. They come like this with this little black ring in it. And then you're going to open it up, and I'll just show you. Open it up like this. Remove this little ring. Close it back up. Then you're going to pump it, squeeze it until the wisteria comes down into this brush part. I didn't shake it, I gotta shake it. All of a sudden it'll flow into that little barrel. There it goes, you see it? And then it's good to use. And then you just use it to paint your little dragonfly. I'll use this one that's already primed, so I don't have to mess around. Give him a little bit of shimmer. Okay, that's all the stamping. Now let's put this card together. Today I'm going to use my snail, just because I have it here. Okay, I'm going to turn this over. Okay, something's not dry. I'm just going to put a little bit of dimensionals back on there. A little bit of snail. I just put a bunch of little dots, a little bit in the center. Make sure it's not hanging off the edge like it is. I'm going to line it up on the Highland Heather piece. It's going to have 1/8 of an inch border all the way around it. Add this to the front of our card. Again, it's going to have 1/8 of an inch border. Maybe a little bit more than that, because and a good way to check if you're not sure, just flip it over on its back like this, so you can judge and see how big of a border you need. Gives you an idea. Match up 2 sides, 3 sides, and then set it down. There we go. There's our card we just made together. Here's the one I did previously. Well, thank you for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, inks, and paper.